Brace yourself. This was an amazing distance psychic wisdom and energy healing session. I just completed it. I went to the Mother of Creation, also referred to as Isla. This was a session booked by a client, and I deeply appreciate this so much. This was very impactful. I will say that it took a little bit to digest what these energy patterns in connection with the Mother of Creation, where they were really guiding me, revealing that there is this unexpected and unperceived wall between our day-to-day life, the creation of ourselves, and the creation of day-to-day life, and the gift of life itself, and our connection with her representation. It's not as if she's asking for us to pay attention and worship and acknowledge her. We are the embodiment of the Mother of Creation, begetting creation. Like we are an extension of her spirit, of her essence. So you're about to step into the raw process, and I do put on my special eyes here, get in the zone, and I feel that this is a very energy activating and very, it's almost like the light that finally reaches you, and then the light bulb clicks and you feel inspired a little bit differently today than you ever did in days prior. That's where this took me, and I'm very excited to share, and thank you so much for booking and sharing with us here on YouTube. Let's begin the experience. Isla, Mother of Creation, what would you like to reveal to all of us today? It begins with what's like a kaleidoscope. Also looks like a fan that is opening up. And once it opens up, it just keeps opening up until it creates a circle. But then it seems to have a tail that follows itself around, and then it closes again. And I see that there's layers of this opening fan, becomes a circle, and then closes itself. And there's purple, and then there's orange. It starts with purple, and then it becomes orange. And I'm just watching this happen. Now it's becoming green. There's a pattern on this fan as well. It seems to be rings. I'm literally watching a circular event expand and then, in a way, collapse into a singular line that then circulates around and then becomes a singular line, but then it circulates around. And it's a color that is shifting. Purple here to orange, here to green. It seems to just continue. She's talking to me about, is this a message for human beings, the human race? Is this a message for life in the universe? Is this a message for some element of life that we may not realize is of value? It's hard for me to explain what I mean by that. I've got to slow way down here. This is not a simple, convenient message. This is a complex message. I feel like I represent one who is at the ready. I'm ready for this. And yet all I can do is sort of look through the glass at these moving circles. And I also feel like maybe I'm at SeaWorld and I'm looking through the glass to understand what it's like to be a creature of the water, something of the aquarium. Something is majorly unfulfilled, like there's a wall between us and where we want to be. We don't just want to look in order to understand. We want to participate in order to become. There's definitely a wall up. That's what's being presented here. A wall. An inconceivable one. One that's hard to perceive. In another scene, I feel like I'm a soul ready to live a human life, but then I've been living it for enough years that I've lived enough human life. But the sensation of showing up and getting excited about it, but then enduring it, it's two different things. How do you stay excited showing up to have this experience or this profound growth, this transformation, this perception adjustment? It's very, very exciting. And yet, how do you maintain that? It's almost like childlike excitement. It just seems to phase out after a while. And the closest that you can get to where you really want to be, it's like on the other side of some glass. That you can't really be that water creature because you have to then be you. And you can't really comprehend the movement of these rings. Even if it was the most profound information in the universe, how are you ever really going to become it? All you can do is really observe and then wonder about it. It's really two-sided. It's showing up excited, and then what you get out of it was not what you thought it was going to be. It seems to lay low, lower than your expected outcome. And no amount of me saying, okay, well, there's no separation, is going to create the awareness of that. You have to embody it. Otherwise, it's just on the other side of the glass, that you're not really a part of it. You're just watching separated from it. I feel so far away from planet Earth. I'm not really sure where I am in existence. And energetically, I have to slow down in order to receive, but everything here seems to move so slowly. Like maybe you're spinning an umbrella. I don't know why you just feel like spinning an umbrella, but it's spinning so slow. The ambition to turn it, it just turns into slow motion. Things aren't really cranking out, they're just slowly happening. Everything getting slower and slower, slow motion. I tell her, okay. I tell her that she's misrepresented. I tell her that we're not in the right place at the right time. I tell her that where I am beginning is not really the beginning. I tell her that this is a convenient space, not the space. This is not me correcting her. This is me being aware of what she's presenting and challenging the way it's being presented, because we then are challenging the way that we are perceiving information and then believing that information, receiving that information, challenging information itself. She's asking me, well, where should we begin? I say somewhere incomprehensibly difficult. This is not meaningful at all. In a way, it's like sitting down and watching someone draw circles and tell you about the profoundness of these circles and these colors, but they're not really sharing anything profound. the profoundness, the activation, the energy, it comes from the real participation. So let's say you're imagining accomplishing a task, but all you ever do is imagine it. I don't know why I'm seeing someone holding a shovel and they're digging in the dirt, and their body is getting stronger. They're building some kind of endurance. They're sweating. I don't know why they're digging in this dirt. They're getting dirty. They're touching the earth. They're participating and they're exhausted. But they're more alive in this participation, which is quite difficult, than someone who is just watching someone draw some circles and say some convenient things. I also feel like there are two sides. One side is convenient and the other side is hard. And there's also a challenge here when it comes to the solar plexus chakra and how we are digesting information, how we are participating and living, and where we are coming from in our participation. It's almost like she's presenting this to see if I'll take the bait. Then that's why I have to slow down, because I've got to explore all angles. I'm not just going to conveniently receive and then project. I'm going to challenge because I want to grow. And so she's talking to us about information, and how you challenge information is growth. How you get dirty in the information, how you dig into the information, how you exhaust yourself is life force, is embodiment, is the growth. She never wants to go down too far. I feel inspired to just take her and pull her right on down. And I know we're talking about Mother of Creation here, but we're talking about this reference, I'm referencing her as Isla. So I'm looking into the specific reflective point as defined as Isla, okay, in order to connect with that frequency, because Mother of Creation is going to be extremely vast and have many faces, you know? And so there's something important about this face. The very event of you booking this session to share with us is an event for all of us to receive from this reflection. So you're really seeding the world with something more vast and very precious here. And I'm supposed to do my style with it. And so, yes, you can pluck the Mother of Creation. I can pluck Isla because I'm having a conversation with her. I'm not controlling her. I'm just communicating, and this is my understanding. So I'm literally taking her like the apple from the tree. I'm just plucking her and I'm pulling her down, and she never ever really goes down. She stays up. And I say, how come I can go down? How come you don't go down with me? How come you stay there? She says that is the point, because we're not separated. We're of the same. And so when I'm looking into the mirror of her as some external force with their own identity, I am forgetting that we are the same and that I carry her within myself. And so where I am meeting her, it is inappropriate for her to be anywhere but where she is, where I'm meeting her, but she is here with me. And so when I go places, I carry her with me to those places. I give her access through me. And it seems to me that I'm supposed to go down here in my connection with her and what sparks my spirit to do the very thing that I'm inspired to do. For what reason, I have no idea. I just supposed to follow this along, okay? I appear in another time and place, and you could say it was like 30 years ago, and it's like a YMCA pool. And I'm at the pool and there's swimming lessons here. And I can smell the chlorine, and there's a certain humidity that hits the windows, and the windows are always foggy. And I notice that while I perceive the people around me, there's far more that I may also perceive that I might not be aware is also there. And I hear her describe this as, Isla describe this as, you could say the flu virus or something in the air. You may not be looking for it. You wouldn't even think to look for it. You wouldn't know it was there. And that would be like a convenient example. You could smell the chlorine, but are you actually looking for the particles? Did you notice the dead bugs in the swimming pool? Were you looking for them? What were you looking for at the swimming pool, learning your swimming lessons? You were focused. You were collected and you were focused. This isn't Abbey, this is all of us. It's almost like replace YMCA swimming pool, swimming lessons with something where you're not paying attention to what's in the air or where the dead bugs are or what's, that stain on the wall over there. You're centered and collected and you are engaged in what you are receiving, therefore learning, therefore embodying growth and experience. You're getting dirty in the world. This is interesting because it's a swimming pool, but I'm active. I'm participating. You are active. You are participating. You are focused. Okay, that's why too, this is also two-sided. Between I'm sitting down listening to someone share a message, but the message is not actually alive, seems to be asleep. And yet I'm engaged in it, deciding that this means something to me, but I'm just matching the frequency of a sleeping teacher. Now I alone carry the shovel and I'm digging myself into a hole for some reason, but I'm more alive in this moment than I would be sitting in this safe space engaged with this sleeping teacher. Now there is a sense of youth and the memory of this swimming pool, the steam collected on the windows of the YMCA of the past, and swimming lessons. But it's not that, it's a participation in being alive. There's something about the aquatic energy too, the water creatures, big and small, okay? Most intelligent to perhaps less intelligent. It doesn't matter. It's seeing on the other side of a piece of glass, but you'll never really be those creatures. You'll only be the creature of yourself. But there's something that comes back to your inner mastery. Where is she, the mother of creation, if she is not within you? Now she's showing me another picture here about, okay, this comes up about mothers that carry their children, then they give birth to the child into this world. And that child and that mother are always connected. And that the belly button is symbolic proof that we have been born into this world from one mother to the next mother to the next mother to the next mother to the next mother. And we're all linked by this feminine energy, by this mother. And that mother of creation is with us, is with the belly button, is with the mother energy, is with us, as we are always connected to our mothers for all time and space. This creative force that births us into this reality so that we can exist here. This is really huge because I'm starting to notice this message goes quite deep and I'm working my way to it. There's a hammer, a big cosmic hammer type thing. It's shattering a kind of, again, a wall that we're not perceiving, that is disconnecting us from the master within us, the digger in the dirt, the participator, but also the mother of creation that comes on down here or goes over there, that is always with us, as is all mothers across all time and space, because we were birthed into this reality, and that's a very extraordinary and precious truth. That is a very precious truth. Aquatic animals, the insects, everything is birthed into this reality. It's a profound truth. It's not a simple sleeping teacher truth. This is real. I still feel like there's something out of reach. And she's showing me a picture of the darkness and this ever growing heart. It's intensely red and it's beating out towards this outstretched hand of a human that's trying to reach this heart, but always at a distance, always never really touching it. It seems to be touching the very divine teacher. The heart of this very divine teacher is not separated from us, but actively existing within and around us in every aspect of our life. And it's a huge and sacred deal, this feminine gift of birthing things into our reality. The trees, the crops, everything big and small in every environment, seen and unseen. And we're reaching for that heartbeat, but it's always out of grasp for some reason, as if the very frequency of the Divine Mother, the Mother of creation, is somehow muted or numb to us. As though something became numb about this relationship with her. I've got to stick with this. I feel like I'm at the edge of something really important here. And since you're gifting all of us this experience, I want to really honor to the depths of my exploration and my introduction to this energy and how the energy is presenting the message and what can be accomplished here in this message for all of us. A type of activation for all of our hearts, for our souls, for our bodies, for our lives. So that what I was describing, oh yes, I can't wait to get in this human life. Decades later, oh, why am I still in this human life? I can't with this. It's like still showing up at the door, excited as ever for today and today and today. And I'm birthed into the next day because I'm still alive when I wake up, and I'm birthed into the next day, as though that is even the mother, birthing us into the very next day from sleep to awake. In a way, we would never see that as a mom thing. Yeah, no mom took me to the womb of the night sky and then birthed me into the daylight. That's not happening. That is what the numbness is. That is what the veil is. That is what the glass is. That is what the sleeping teacher, or out of all convenience, not even knowing that that is something happening here. And we wouldn't even think of it that way, and we need to start thinking of it like that. Okay. I'm not finished, I say. I'm still down here. That means all of us are down here. And we're surrounded by, within, around, above, below, in all sacred directions, the Mother of creation. As though her very essence has been put into a box and put very far away from our awareness. On some level, discredited without anyone ever having that thought. That even to women themselves are losing that sensation of the presence of, the profoundness of. This isn't like women's rights. This is our biology. This is our divine representation. This is what we are. This is what we reflect. This is what we are in this world. The female of this world. The fruit bearers of this world. This It is so deep and it's so important that when I plucked her like the apple from the tree, I was taking advantage of the very thing that she is, the very glass that separates us that I can't tell is there, that we are all in some odd way, some varying degrees, somehow muted from this clarity, or taking advantage of it, or not respecting it, or being annoyed by it, or it's not that important, and yet it is so important. It is so precious. It's the very apple, the very fruit upon the tree that she is, that nourishes us, that gives us this life, that gives us the gift of this experience, and that every day is the birth of a new day, and that we're moving through her in order to continue to animate this entire experience. She's not asking for us to worship her. She's not asking for us to even give her any attention. It is the attention that we are choosing to give to her that now this exchange and this message is now reaching humanity. It's almost like the kid at the YMCA pool is now looking for, I don't know, that hidden ingredient in the air that we call now the flu virus, or these dead bugs in the pool. But why can't it be more beautiful than that? The very gift of life. Did we look for that today? That today was the gift of life. She is the gift that gives us the gift of life, that then we continue to give of the gift of life in the way that she has gifted it to us. She's not asking for our worship or our attention or our gratitude or our praise. She is asking for us to become self-aware of these divine truths, that we become masters of these divine truths and animated by them, because in the end, we are the very extension of herself. It is not her, it is us. And if we take advantage of the very gifts of each other, then we're just mindlessly existing as sleeping teachers upon the earth. And sleeping students. So, that is the message. That is the message. Just coming back to myself here. I'm basically self-assessing and asking myself, did I articulate that well enough? Does that make sense? I feel like it makes sense. I feel like I delivered. Thank you. Thank you so much for this, the gift that I got to experience today, then to share with all of you. Thank you for this, booking this session. And for those watching, if I can support you in a session, you can book one at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Have a great day, everybody.